Okay, so we're live. Good evening. It's Chakra time. My daughter Gemma and I are here, as we always are. Yeah, good evening, Bella. Namaste. I was so yeah. Let's just give people a chance to join in. I'm sat beside the fire, and I've made the fire a bit hot. Yeah. Gemma's waiting for her data to kick in, so we might be able to read messages and talk to people. So, good evening, Saf, Eva, Ib, cool. It's funny, all the people that were on retreat with me this weekend have all tuned in first.
Ching ching!
Ching ching. Now, I believe maybe Marianne has joined as well. Hello. Yeah, cool. So, how's everyone doing? I was feeling really good today. I'm not feeling not good now, but I was really buzzing today. I went to the gym, did a good workout, had a sauna, had a chill out, fell asleep for a while. That was nice. It's interesting, really, isn't it? Because although we all come on here together in this meditation, it's amazing. Can't we, at different times? I always find that's amazing about people. You know, it's only a few weeks ago when I was literally coming on here and I was going through anger. Yeah, and for the last few weeks I've been feeling relatively good, really. I've been a bit blue as well. There's many emotions.
We have Laura as well.
So Laura's back. Cool.
And Emma Lou.
Emma Lou.
And Tiffany, of course, is with Ib.
Tiffany is with Ib, yeah. Cool. You know, yeah, Laura, none of you know her, but she was doing it every week, and she kind of got a bit of a process, got a little bit of clearing. She did, and she texted me and said she couldn't make it, but she'd be on next week, and here she is. So it's really good to have you back. You know, my son Michael is 14, nearly 15. You know, he attended his first retreat this weekend, his first whole weekend retreat, and he's woke up Monday morning and he had a chesty cough, and yeah, just he's in a process. He's doing really well. He's probably going to join us, he said, from his bedroom.
Yeah, he is tuned in.
Yeah, good, Michael. Yeah, Michael, my young warrior son. Okay, so any other names I haven't seen? Just sorry if I don't mention your name. I was really excited about coming on here today, actually, because when you just come out of retreat and you had some new people come along and you make that connection, you do that work together, it just makes it all more inspiring for me and extra special. So thank you for that. Okay, so here we are. And I don't know, maybe I can't see his name, but Tim has maybe on. So here we are. So we're going to do our weekly chakra practice together. For anyone that joins in or wonders what the hell is going on, we are doing a weekly chakra meditation, which really, for now, the bottom line is, the advantage of doing this is to work with your feelings, instead of maybe accepting the way you feel. If you don't feel as good as you'd like to, it's really about learning to have tools to move energy around your body, release it, move it on. It's a way of clearing your emotional body and yours, because everything about you and about us, of course, myself, you, all of us, everything about us is in our chakras and in our emotional body. Yeah. So, okay. So I hope that you've got your candle, your little tea light, and you've got some incense, and you've maybe dimmed the lights in the house and no one's going to bother you, and you've turned your phone off. And so you visualize yourself in a little bubble of light with a pyramid above and a pyramid below, which is actually like the Merkaba. That's come up for me today in different ways. So it's like a pyramid, and it's about visualization. The more you visualize it, the more it becomes so, and you activate that part of your being, which is your light body. So just visualize that for a moment. So visualize now the root chakra. So that's the first chakra, as you can see in that wonderful painting behind. The root chakra lies at the base of the body, and it represents your connection to the earth, being grounded and connected to the earth. So now just breathe the earth energy up. We always work with the earth energy from Mother Earth, or we work with the Father Universe source energy. So for now, we're going to breathe up this earth energy into the red root chakra, and we're going to open up that center. So it's deep breaths, breathing up those roots. So you imagine you've got these, from that root chakra, you've got these big roots going down into the earth, like an oak tree. I always say that because that's the way I see it. It's good to believe you're strong, grounded, and present, and you're training yourself for that to be so. So let's visualize those big roots going down into the earth. And when you breathe up the earth energy, you're breathing it up through those roots into that red chakra, and you open. Got some nice incense here. Frankincense. So every breath can be exaggerated. I always do. It helps me to focus my mind, to visualize, because some of us do need to be able to visualize. In time, through practice, you just feel the chakras. They're just there, but it takes a bit of practice. So we're working with this red root chakra. We're breathing the earth energy up. And when we breathe out, we're opening the chakra, and we're igniting that part of our being. We're bringing healing energy to everything that the root chakra could possibly represent. And at the same time, you're dealing with feelings that can arise from working in this way. Every breath is important. Do your best to keep the focus. The mind will wander, but just bring it back to the red chakra, at the base of your spine, or down under there in the perineum. as we breathe in and activate this part of our divine blueprint. So now, just for now, let's go up to the next chakra. Just below the navel, the orange sacral, the hara. So it's back and front. It's like an orange flower at the front, an orange lotus flower at the back. And you breathe in the earth energy through the red root chakra into the orange sacral and open. Did you get the data going? No, we've got no data going tonight, so we won't be able to share it as much. But at the moment, we have a steady 11. It's an interesting number. It just shows that 11. 1, 1. Years ago, when I used to be a minicab driver for a while in London, the number they gave me was 1, 1. It was interesting, wasn't it? I was about 22 years of age. And it used to be Indian controller working, and he always used to say, 1, 1, 1, 1, go do. Brilliant. Of course, I knew nothing about the significance of that number, 11, but there you go.
Your life path number.
It's my life path number, as my daughter reminds me, yes. And it's jealous. And maybe some of you tonight joining in. Tiffany. Oh, the 11's gone. So we're breathing into the second chakra. I often wonder what makes people go. The 11 is back. I often wonder what makes people go. Do they start to feel something and they think, ooh, or do they just not understand? Or yeah, I just wonder, because it is a very powerful and useful practice, and it starts to work with the deepest levels of your being, your emotions. It starts to unlock trauma, wounding, all those parts of your being where there's insecurities and fear, and it amplifies all the better qualities. Choosing the right words. So we're breathing that earth energy out. And I hope that you do. As you're sat there listening to me waffling away, please do just keep breathing into this chakra. You know that you're breathing through the root as well. The root chakra is still getting the energy. You know, you may even be getting in touch with feelings, and things might come up. You might need to make sounds. You might need to release. Sometimes people cry and shout and scream. It's all good. It's all relative. We don't need to force anything. It's just building a relationship with yourself and the practice. I've got my citrine here. And the little shungite. So let's go up to the yellow solar plexus. So the yellow solar plexus is in the center of the belly. It's back and front. So we draw the energy up from the earth through the red root chakra, through the orange sacral, into the yellow solar plexus, and we open. So I wonder, all those people that joined me in retreat this weekend, how are you doing? I would love to hear about that. Thank you for all the interactions last week and all the questions. I really enjoy that. Feel free to say anything you like, message anything you like, and we can have some fun as well. Oh. Every breath, we're drawing the earth energy up into the yellow solar plexus. If you were just tuning in and you're wondering what's going on, it's a weekly meditation chakra practice. We all come in here together, live, once a week at 9 o'clock, to assist people to come together, to move energy inside our own being. As I said before, the chakras are like muscles. They grow with practice. What are the advantages of having strong chakras? That's a big question, and there's many, many answers I could give to that. But what about some simple things? Like confidence. Creating energies within you where you can be very present and grounded in your life. Have a very holding energy. Releasing fear from your body. That's a good one. That's handy. Anxiety. All those things come under depression, I suppose. Symptoms of depression. Being depressed, pressed down. So as we breathe into that yellow solar plexus, you know, my understanding of 20 years experience, I guess, I've been through waves of depression all through the years. And what I found is it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy to stay suppressed. It can actually knock you out, put you in bed for days. It's because when we suppress all the trauma and the anger and all the feelings of disappointment and everything, it literally just takes a lot of energy to suppress that. So when you work with the centers and you build muscles and you build a connection with your emotional body, you can get the opportunity to release all those suppressed emotions. And of course you become clearer, because it takes time. So let's draw the energy up into the heart. How are you all feeling? I always feel good when I join you all in this practice. It's my life's mission to do this work, so that would mean that when I do this work with people, I am in line with my purpose, so that would serve me and it makes me feel good. The more offline you go in your life, where you're falling away from your center and your purpose, it gets hard. It can be difficult. Saf's here for his first live session. Saf is with me this weekend on Saturday night. Good to have you, Saf.
Tiffany wants to ask a question. It says, is it okay to dedicate a practice on an individual chakra if feeling weak in that area?
Yeah, it is okay to do that, especially if you're going through something. You will want to spend more time with one chakra, but always realize that when you go to the gym and train your body, it wouldn't benefit you just to work with one muscle. So it's just getting the balance. You know, sometimes when I'm going through a particular process and I'm clearly going through father stuff, brother stuff, anything like that to do with solar plexus, I would literally, I could spend an hour there, I could spend half an hour there. But I always do a little bit of the other ones too, just to give my body that sense of balance. And the chakras like to be practiced. Once you start, they like it. They like you to be regular. Like the gym, if you don't go for a couple of weeks, the muscles and your fitness level drop slightly. It's the same. And also, you may want to be on a certain chakra because you're avoiding feelings that might come up in another chakra. Now, I'm not saying that's your case tonight, Tiff, but that can be something as well that we can do without realizing. Because sometimes when we get in touch with old stuff, going back to our childhood, it's like we don't really want to do that. It's huge resistance, but as I say, that's where the gold is. That's where the treasure is, because when you can deal with those places and you move that energy and you bring love and light to that place, you also bring transformation, change, healing. So we're on the heart. The heart chakra is big. I always see it as big, big heart. Thanks for the question. It's a good question. When I first started, I used to work a lot with the lower three because I knew that, if you want to really get strong, it's good to start at the beginning, at the roots. And, all the heavy stuff in our life is really in the first three chakras. That's why I think it's called the lower nature. So you're dealing with the primal fears, you're dealing with the sexual energy, the relationships, power struggles, father, mother, so much. So it's really good to, I always used to do a little bit more down there, and then as over time, I was encouraged by Chung Fu to do the higher ones as well, because, when you get strong, you literally can lift up, you can lift out of the darkness, so to speak, and into the light in a way. So Chung Fu said to me once, he said, Paul, you spent so much time digging down there in the bottom three chakras, and he said it's like digging your garden up. You work so hard on your garden, digging and plowing and seeds and everything, but actually sometimes you can forget that the sun will eventually shine. Yeah, the sun will eventually shine and it will light you up. And the more chakra work you do and the more you go into these deep places, you release it. You become clear and strong and the light shines in.
Tiffany says, awesome, thank you. Had an epic chakra weekend with you guys. Looking forward to the next one.
Cool. We're looking forward to having you for the next one. And I must say, you were quite a warrior. Yes. So let's go up to the throat for a while. Sky blue throat chakra. Place of communication where we speak our truth, being honest with our lives and ourselves and everyone around us. That takes muscle to live that way. So we're working on the throat, opening. And just know that every breath that you take, you're working with every chakra. They're all being fed this energy up the central column. But let's just focus on the throat for now. Thank you for all the hearts. There's a delay, but I like it when they flow. We're on 11 again. So every breath, breathing the earth energy out through the chakras. You know, if you have pets in the house, they respond well to their owners doing this work. I wonder if you noticed. Eva would know this more than anybody, as she has a cat cafe. She has 12 to 14 cats working with people all the time. Yes, in Bristol, I've been there. You should go and experience it. It's wonderful. So how are we doing? Is energy moving? Do you find yourself drifting away? Do you find that you wanted to focus on one chakra more than the other? If you want to, stay with it for a while. It doesn't matter. They're just rough guidelines. You know, all sorts of emotions could be coming up for you at home by yourself. And that's okay. See it as a good thing. You know, my son, he woke up on Monday morning. So he was so up for coming for the weekend, and he woke up Monday and he was chesty, he was coughing, and I think he was going through, I think grief was coming up for him. My son has gone through a lot in his life. And I said to him, son, try and see it as a good thing. And he was crying. And I said, look at how brave you are to take this time out to delve into your inner world, in your inner being, to learn to love yourself more. It's amazing. I suppose I'm talking about him because he's so young. And I think in a way, his generation, you know, they will be the warriors of the heart. They will be the ones who grow up and they pick up a sword, but the sword they carry is the sword of the inner warrior. Those who take responsibility for their feelings and they don't project it onto their world and everybody in it. Of course, my daughter Jana, she's been doing the work for years with me. She's also a female warrior and a beautiful singer and channeler. Those of you who have heard her sing know exactly what I mean. So let's go up to the third eye. So how are you doing? Bella, you there? So we're breathing the earth energy up into the third eye for vision and clarity, the all-seeing eye, the intuition. Did Tim has come on?
I don't think it's made. I don't see any rumors here.
It's such a simple practice, really, isn't it? It's such a simple practice. Breathing earth energy up into these chakras, these wheels of life, wheels of light, that a lot of the world doesn't even, society, or should I say, don't even accept that they exist. Yet, they've been in Sanskrit teachings and texts and books going back thousands of years. Only those, to be fair, only those who don't believe them are people that haven't worked them in this way. Because if you did, you would know. And some of us have been so conditioned by the world to be so in the mind and disconnected from the body that it takes time to wake up the inner realms of your existence, of your being. It takes time to unhook from the mind, having to understand everything down to the last grain of sand. But when you make that connection to your innermost self, it's a wonderful thing. Let's go up to the crown, the violet crown, just leaving the indigo eye, still all the energies coming up through the red, the orange, the yellow, green heart, blue throat, indigo third eye, violet crown. The gateway to the universe, the gateway to the source energy. Let's open up. Because that's what we're doing. We're learning to open up. Do you ever wonder, there's this saying, isn't there, in this world? Oh, that person's fairly open. I'm fairly open to that. It's like open. The opening is the opening of the centers. The connection to your higher self. Connection to the universe, the earth. When you open up these chakras and you open the gateways, the earth energy can flow through, the source energy, however you see that to be, the love energy, the higher self energy flows down, and you become the channel between heaven and earth.
Bella says she's in a very deep place, have so much going on. I know it's a gift to reach my deepest pain. It's just I'm right in it, and so very hard to hold it together.
Can you hear? Did you hear that? Yeah. So Bella's in a very deep process. She's been working with me for 4 years. She's on her 4th year, and yeah, when you take on the journey of kind of going all the way, really, where you're really using this work to free your being of all the things that hold you back in life. Sometimes we go to deep places which can be very, very challenging. And we might be there for a while, for a few days, a week or two. And that is very courageous when you can do that. When you can just accept the pain, the fear that's in your body, the woundings, the trauma, maybe to do with the parents, or it's all to do with that really in different ways. But yeah, you're very brave, and I have a lot of respect for you. So just for a moment, I want to go back to the root, because I just feel that. So let's just go back to the root a minute. Just have that feeling that you're opening up. Because when you open up in this way, you're allowing yourself to connect to the light body. So the light body is working with the chakras, and the chakras are working with the light body. And it's literally going in and out of itself. Excuse me.
It says he currently finds his sacral and solar plexus hard to feel, sense. Root has felt alive since the retreat weekend.
Yeah.
Throat feels great also. Third eye is a little touch and go, but on the whole can feel it. Crown have also found easy to sense. The retreat weekend really helped me to tune in better. Weekly live sessions are invaluable. Lots of processing, been feeling very tired but upbeat at the same time, if that makes sense.
Thanks, Ed. It does make sense. You know, I heard you the other day and I said to you on the video after the weekend, I feel that you're a bit raw, you know. What does that mean? It means that you worked hard this weekend, you know, and you brought earth energy and light and love for yourself into some deep places. And maybe at the moment, it's right that you don't feel a lot from the sacral and the solar plexus, because really, you know, they are very deep centers and they hold a lot of the issues around relationships with the parents and the family and all the relationships. So maybe you're just, you know, doing what you can. Maybe there's some integration going on. So it's good that you feel the root, because that tells me you're grounded and present. And the throat, you're communicating that. So it's good. It's good. Just keep breathing in there and keep giving them some energy and not pushing or forcing anything.
Katie Shaughnessy says she's feeling a bit lost lately. My dad passed 11 days ago and I can't seem to shake this heaviness off me. Any advice, please, if possible?
Hi, Katie. I'm sorry that your father has passed on. My father passed when I was 13. It's a tragic thing, really. I don't know what age your dad was or whether he lived a long life or whatever, but it's a loss, isn't it? Especially if we feel close to the parent. You know, my dad was like, I don't know, to me, my dad was the sweetness in my life. He represented the support, you know. So all my life I've been working with lower back stuff around support because he died. So I would say to you, you know, allow yourself to grieve, expect this process, but just know that there is life after death and there is a spirit world. And, you know, this practice, you know, joining us for this once a week would really help you to maybe feel some support, because fathers are very supporting energy, aren't they? And so gentle with that. And also as well, when you say lost, yeah.
Feeling a bit lost lately. My dad passed 11 days ago, and I can't seem to shake this heaviness off.
11 days ago,
It's
I mean,
not much.
you're really grieving, you know, that's new, that's fresh. That's just going to take a bit of time, you know, and just accept your feelings and come and join us for this practice once a week on Thursdays and just bring some, you know, this practice helps to move the energy, you know, it's like, you know, yeah, fathers are extremely important. Thank you for your question. Look after yourself. Look after yourself. Nourish yourself. Be kind to yourself.
She said he was 65. I was with him when he went.
Wow, 65 and you were there, huh? That's a teaching, isn't it? When my dad died, I had to leave the room and I was outside and I wanted to be there. That must be a full-on experience. Yeah.
She said, I will join each week. Thank you so much.
Oh, we'd love to have you here every week.
Yeah.
Just know that your father's crossing over the spirit realms into the spirit world and, you know, he'll be looked after and, yeah, he may or may not be back. You know, when I grew up and I had my first astrology reading, the astrologer told me that my father leaving me at that age was a gift. It was a gift. Some gift, huh? It's a harsh gift, isn't it? Because really, I missed him all my life, really. And all my relationships around with men have always come from that wounding, because that wounded me when he died. So if I can come back from that wounding, that's going to make me a good person to know around loss and father and all that grief. So somehow it is a teaching, but it's hard to accept at the time. So we're on the route. So what I want to say now is I want us to lift up into the temple of light together. Because when you do these practices, you're working kind of like third dimension reality. And we have to be in that dimension at the moment. That can be a dark place to work for, because I don't know about you, but if you observe life and people around you, there's so much going on for people. It's a really challenging time. So it's like, when you do this work, you're making space. If you're clearing out old stuff, you're making space. So you want to fill that space with something good and positive and helpful. So this visualization is about lifting up into a temple of light. So imagine you're going up into the fourth dimension and you see the walls and the ceilings and the floor. My temple of light is like a big yurt. That's how I always see it. And there's massive crystal grid in the middle and candles and lights, and it's beautiful. And it's all dusky around me. And I just visualize all you people with me. Whoever comes into that temple with me, just see us all together. And as we breathe now, we breathe that light from all around us, down from the higher self, down into these chakras to start filling up with the love and the light from your higher self and from the source of all life. You may see it just pouring down. It may just come down one at a time. Whatever you want to do, just take some time to allow that light to flood down.
Emma Lou says, I'm new to your page. One day you just popped up on my phone. I've been self-healing with crystals for 4 years, working on my chakras.
Wow.
But once I've healed one wound, another opens straight away. It's more to do with this life I'm working on and fixing in my family lines.
Yeah.
I've been doing lots and seeing my old self leave my body while I'm walking around awake. Is this normal? Also, I've started the chakra dance and my sacral is very emotional, but I've been seeing my inner child hugging me all the time. Is this normal? Sorry for the long message.
But it's good. It sounds to me as if you're in touch, and that's a good thing. You know, it's interesting you said about working with the ancestral lines, because actually it's all about that. Because I didn't go into it yet because no one's brought up that question. So it's a brilliant question, and I would like to deepen on that. Because, so when you came into this life from your other lives, that's like a doorway, it's a gateway, you're born. And not only do you have to deal with everything that happens to you as a child in this life, you have to deal with all the ancestral stuff coming down the father line, all the ancestral stuff coming down the mother line. So that's huge, isn't it? So when you start to work with the chakras, especially when you start to understand that they can open, you start to deal with all these energies. Now, the more muscle you have, the more stronger the chakras become, the better you get at dealing with it, and the more you can deal with. But your guides and your higher self, they never give you more than you can handle. And also you mentioned the inner child. Well, when we're born, we are kind of born perfect, really, aren't we? You know, when we're born, apparently our chakra system can be quite open, and we have this soft spot that connects us to the universe, and we're just, but of course we're coming into a wounded world, aren't we? I mean, God love our parents, they do their best, but they were once babies too, and it goes on and on and on, and we live in a world where we've been wounded as a race of beings, so these wounds get passed on to the inner child, or the child. And then what happens is, through certain parts of our child, if it's too traumatic, the inner child just kind of goes off inside somewhere, and just goes off because it can't cope anymore. So when you get stronger, this part of the inner child can start to come back, because you're growing enough strength and understanding to be able to say, hey, come in, I can hold you now. Like maybe the parents couldn't hold you. So it sounds to me as if you are doing well, and you have a good understanding there. And yes, you do have to work with layer after layer after layer. And then sometimes you have to deal with layer after layer after layer of bliss and good times where you feel really strong and powerful and magnificent. So it's not always about the pain, because it goes in waves, just so we all know that. Thank you for that question. I hope it brings some encouragement or understanding. Please join us every week. So we're breathing this light down into the chakras. So breathe in a child. Know that this light is coming down from your higher self, and you don't need anything outside of yourself, really, once you get the hang of this work. It's good to have someone like me to support you, really, and hold you, and to just tell you that, oh, that's where you are, is it? Ah, I remember that time. It's good to do this, it's good to do that, but really, this is a self-empowerment journey, and it's all about that.
We also have Andy Hannah, who was on with us
Oh, I remember
last
Andy.
week.
Yeah, I remember Andy.
He just says hi, and he's got some moldavite crystal, hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Sending energy into the space. Brother
Excellent.
and sister that's hosting, letting you know. So I respect boundaries.
Wow, brilliant. It's great that you're on again, man. Seriously, I really like that. Thank you for coming and joining us. I feel honored. Thank you for saying hello. You hold the crystal, you hold it. It's good. So we're just on the light. We're filling up with the light. There's no hurry. We're doing well. You know, this chakra work takes time, like anything. It's work. You know, it's development, it's training. It takes practice, like anything. Dedication. I mean, you know, here I am now with you, and I'm doing this work, and I'm putting myself online because it's time to do that. But you know, I have to say that in my life, you know, as a child, I was incredibly wounded, and you know, and traumatized, and you know, so when that happens, you know, you start to hate yourself, and you know, and it's really challenging. You know, you go out into the world, and you're like, it's like these wounds are like bleeding in your chakras and in your body. And then you go out into the world and you're expecting to have this wonderful life and that things will be better for you. But the problem is, because we are like creators of our own life, we create from these places. So it's like if we don't take responsibility for those places that we don't really like to own, or we like to pretend that they're not there, or that's in the past, I don't need to look at that. Yeah, that's the challenging thing. And you know, and here I am now, and years and years, you know, doing different things, and it just takes time, you know, but it's a wonderful journey.
Emily says, thank you for your answers. That's great. I do things for her, speaking of her inner child.
Yeah.
But she's more hugging me on the outside than the inside. But thanks for your guidance. Very grateful.
She's hugging you, huh? That's cool.
She's happy you're doing the work.
She's happy you're doing the work. That's a great answer. Because I really, really am excited, and I really, really am interested in people who are taking responsibility. People who realize that, you know, our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. The inner world of every single human being. And the quickest way to make a difference in the world is to clean your own cupboards out, your own inner world. When you look at the mirror and you want to comb your hair because it's untidy, do you comb the mirror? No, you don't. You have to comb your hair. As only then does your hair change.
Andy Hannah says, yeah, it's layered cake of dark armor that's attached to us in the present and ancestral line.
Yeah.
Healing is taking off each one of the layers of dark armor. Honored as well. So much love and excitement, abundance to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Back at you, Andy.
Yeah, back at you, man. You know, it's interesting because I worked with Chung Fu. Probably some of you don't know who that is, but you can look him up. And he said to me once, you know, it's like, you know, we visualize, you know, the chakras and the energy coming in and everything because that's what we do. We need to visualize that. But you know, apparently there is nothing outside of us really. It's all inside. Our higher self is waiting deep inside to be grounded, to be ignited. And as you just said, Andy, when you deal with those layers of the cake one at a time, every time you bring up a process and you clear it, you're closer to that eventual opening, which is the journey of life. When the chakras open and the energy and the light from your higher self, the divine presence within just comes shining through. So we're filled up with this light now. Imagine it's down your legs and your arms and your hands and it's up. You're filled up with this light. And so now it's time to come down from the temple of light as the fire just moved. Coming down from the temple of light, always bringing yourself back down, feeling your bottom on the cushion or on the floor, the chair, wherever you're sitting. Again, visualize those big roots like the oak tree going down from the root chakra into the earth, making sure that you are here, you are present. Because the more you grow these muscles, the more you are actually in. The more of you is in and present.
Andy says, yes, enlightenment in flesh after total healing. I hear you, brother.
Yeah. Good stuff. Birds of a feather flock together. So now we breathe the earth energy up these roots, up through the center, up to the crown, hold the breath, and release. Again, hold it, and down. Excellent. So last week, I forgot to do the mantra. So this week, I'm going to do it now. So this is a self-empowerment mantra. So, I am the living embodiment of my higher self.
I am the living embodiment of my higher self.
And my higher self is the living embodiment of the divine.
And my higher self is the living embodiment of the divine.
Breathe it into your heart. Breathe it into the mind, into the body. One more time. I am the living embodiment of my higher self.
I am the living embodiment of my higher self.
And my higher self is the living embodiment of the divine.
And my higher self is the living embodiment of the divine.
Breathe it in. See how your body feels about that.
It says something that I want to share.
Okay, yeah.
During this practice tonight, I feel compelled to share the following.
Come closer.
In my early teens, I was sexually molested by an employee of my dad's.
Wow.
I was between 11 to 13 years old. All these years, I hated this part of my life and ashamed of it. I felt like I lost my innocence. Recently, I have learned to love myself, especially at that time. Thank you, Michael, for showing your courage, and thank you, Paul and Gemma, for doing such miracle-level work.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you for being so honest.
Thanks, Eve.
You know, in my life, I've never really had no sexual woundings, although collectively I think we are wounded sexually within the matrix. But I understand abuse, and I just want to say that I really feel you and how brave you are to share that with us, because there's a lot of people who have experienced that. And it's so easy for people to then hate themselves, to feel dirty, and all sorts of other emotions. So I just really want I just visualize you filling up with light and penetrating those deep places, which probably would be in the sacral and the solar plexus. Because in a way, it's an overpowering situation, and it messes with that innocence of a child. So, thank you, man. Thank you. You're an inspiration to all of us. And by sharing stuff like that, you just deepen the group between the energy between all of us, because we all understand this. In fact, let's make a prayer together. It is my intention that abuse of any description, especially to do with children, is cleared from our planet. And I call upon all the spirit beings and all those who work in the universe for the upliftment of this planet to assist us with this intention as a group. No more sex trafficking, child trafficking, children being abused. No. Calling for a massive clearing of all that darkness, because that's what it is. It comes from disconnection, it comes from darkness and wounded people. And so it is.
And so it is. Katie Shaughnessy says, this is a beautiful group. Kiss.
Thank you, Katie. Is that different Katie now?
That's the woman who just lost her father.
Yeah. Thank you, Katie.
People in it make it what it is.
Yeah, people do make it what it is. So what we're going to do now is, if you're going to stay now for the rest of the evening in your house, it's not so important. But at the same time, if you're definitely going out of your house, we need to close the centers down. If you do this practice, always make sure you leave the root open, the crown stays open, because you don't want to lose your connection to the Mother Earth, and you don't want to lose your connection to the universe, the source in which you came from. But we close down the sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, and the third eye. So let's see them just closing down. Little flowers opening like they did, and now they're closing. And imagine your guides or your helpers, higher self, however you see it, or your inner child, is placing a cloak and a hood over you, zipping it up at the front. My cloak is always velvety with a golden lining, just wrapping you up and protecting you. So all that's left really is to say thank you for joining us, and I look forward and hope that you will join us again next week at 9 o'clock every Thursday.
From the Emotional Alchemy Healing page on Facebook.
From the Emotional Alchemy Healing page on Facebook. My name is Paul Moore. My work is Emotional Alchemy. So that makes me an emotional alchemist. Ching ching. An emotional alchemist is somebody who takes responsibility for all their emotions, all their shit, all their crap, everything, and turns it from the heavy lead weight of that into the gold of soul, higher self, love. So if you would like to be an emotional alchemist, I look forward to hearing from you. That's it. Good night. Thank you. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. From Jan.